Hey everyone. Um, so I just was sitting down. This is one of those days where I was coming to do my post, not really sure what I was going to say. And as I sit down, the idea pops into my head or something flashes into my awareness. And it was, every once in a while it happens that way. And so there's something that's been kind of going on in me that I've talked a little bit about in previous posts, which is in terms of my own practice on piano. I've found that I'm actually, I've been really emphasizing this whole idea of discovery mode. And discovery mode, I sort of like distinguish it from what I'm calling performance mode, which is basically a kind of compendium of all the ways that we leverage negative energy towards ourselves when we're feeling the pressure of a performance. Like basically what our patterns do to try and prove that we're good enough. And sometimes you don't even have to, most of the time actually, you don't even have to be in a performance to be in performance mode. And so my whole thing with mindful piano is like really flipping that around and going into full-time discovery. And never really being in performance mode even when we're performing. But so I've been emphasizing that, obviously, with the students that I'm working with, it's really one of the core things about this course that I'm hoping to create. And what I'm noticing, ironically, is that as I've been doing that, I'm feeling more and more of an urge to really bring pieces up to performance level, which basically just means really getting them cleaned up and really getting them to where I'm sharing them. And it's coming from this impulse to share the music. And I've learned so many cool pieces, like just from my students. Basically, these are like, I have students who are playing some really cool repertoire, and so I've started learning it. And kind of like the piece that I posted last weekend, I just sometimes go down the rabbit hole learning a piece so that I can sort of help a student with it, and then realize, oh my God, I'm going to learn this piece. I want to perform this piece. That's happened with like 3 or 4 pieces now. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start posting one piece a week. I don't think I can handle more than that. And just getting it up to like where I'm ready to record it and share it, and using it both as an exercise to remain in discovery mode while I perform, and also just as an outlet, just as a way of connecting me with what it feels like to share music, because that's something that I'm just feeling by working with so many students and by doing my own practice. It's just feeling really like something that's bubbling out of me in a really kind of fun way. Haven't had that impulse in a while, and it's really kind of cool to feel that coming through. And I think it's going to really orient my practice. I've noticed that if I'm just practicing kind of for no specific outcome, then it's easy to just really kind of leave pieces not quite finished. Like get them pretty much learned, even pretty much memorized, but not completely ready to, like, not really, like if I was on stage playing them, or if I were playing them for someone else, I would be like, oh no, I don't know this piece. So that's I think it's going to feel really good for all those reasons. And I was practicing Debussy's Reverie earlier today, which is a gorgeous piece. Oh my God, I've never played it. It's teaching me so much because it's such a great example of his writing. Reminds me of the arabesques. I've played the 2 arabesques by Debussy, and I've played a couple of the preludes. And this really reminds me of the arabesques. And it's probably gonna be the next thing I record. You'll probably hear it this weekend. Look out. Debussy's Reverie, coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. But I was playing it And Annalise walks up to me and she says, "Papa, what are you playing?" And I was like, "I'm playing Debussy." She said, "It's a little bit sad." And I was like, wow, this girl just knows music. And I find that so interesting, you know, that she, because it is a little bit sad. Debussy has a kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say that all of Debussy sounds sad, but there's like a, not even melancholy is too strong of a word, but there's just kind of a poignancy. There's a poignancy to Debussy that's so just remarkable, and it's really just, it's just ubiquitous in his work. And I think, you know, a 2-year-old can identify it and say, it's a little sad. She didn't want me to stop playing it. She was just pointing out that she felt like it was a little bit sad. Which also gets my mind going on a whole tirade that I'll save for another post. But basically, this idea that there's so much universal emotion in music. You know, there's universal meaning in music. You know, music has, especially, you know, piano music, non-lyrical music has meaning that we all understand. Even as a 2-year-old, we sort of like perceive the meaning of melodies and harmonies. But what is it? How would you define it? Why does it conjure similar emotions in completely different people? That's harder to explain without reference to some sort of like universal emotional stuff out of which we're all made, and almost like universal principles or patterns of, you know, perception and meaning making. So I just found that really cool that she was like, "Oh, Papa, it's a little bit sad." Like I should know. I needed to. She needed to clear me up on that. I needed to be aware. So anyway, you'll know what she's talking about this weekend when I post the piece. So that's what I got today, folks. I love you. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody who watches these and likes these videos. I appreciate you. I'll see you soon.